Hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to make cheese burst pizza in the absolute restaurant style. The best part is this recipe is very easy to make, yet the taste is spot on absolute restaurant style as I said earlier. Now let's get cooking. For activating the yeast, we will take a big bowl and add in some warm water to it. Here I am using about half a cup of water. To the warm water I will also add in about 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now we will mix the sugar crystals really well with the water until they dissolve. This looks good. Now we will add in the yeast to it. So here I have about 1 teaspoon of instant yeast. Today I am using instant yeast because that was easily available for me. If you guys want me to make a video on types of yeast available in India, let me know, I'll do that. So I will add in the yeast to the water and keep it aside for about 10 minutes so that it proves. It is not necessary to activate the yeast when using instant yeast, but I like to do it because that gives me an assurance that this yeast is working and is fresh. After 10 minutes you can notice how this water has got bubbly and frothy. It is perfect. Now we are going to add in the maida to it. So here I am using 1.5 cups of maida. Next I am going to add in about 1 tablespoon of milk powder. If you don't have milk powder you can skip it, but I will really recommend you to add it. I will also add in about 1 teaspoon of salt and mix all of these together. Using hands, I will make a soft dough out of this mixture, and you might have to add a little more water. I had to do as well. So whenever using water, use warm water only and form a soft dough. Now you can notice the dough is formed. I will take it out of the bowl and place it in my working counter. On top of the dough, I will add in about 1 tablespoon of butter. You can also use oil if you want to. Now we have to knead the dough for about 5 to 6 minutes minimum. More is merrier. You can knead it up to 15 minutes if you have the time. You will notice how the dough texture changes as you knead it. After about 5 to 6 minutes, the dough is ready. You can keep it in a bowl, cover it with a cloth and let it rest for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, basically until it doubles up in size. Today I am showing a shortcut recipe for the cheese burst pizza because otherwise the recipe is very long and it doesn't make sense if you guys cannot make it at home. For the same reason we will use cheese spread from the market. You can use any brand that you like. Before the dough rises, let me also show you the pizza trays. So you can use a normal flat pizza tray if you want to. You can also use a pizza screen. This is also a type of pizza pan. And if you don't have any of these, you can also use a cake tin. So this is a springform cake tin which you can open it up and use the base only. Today I will be using a pizza screen because that way both the sides cook evenly. By the way, you can also use a old tawa. I use it very often. Old tawa works really well. After about 45 minutes you can see how the dough has doubled up in size. So the yeast has worked for us and it is not smelling bad as well. So it is good. Now I will knead this for about 1 minute into 2 portions, 25% and 75%. So the smaller portion will be on top of our pizza. I will tell you why. So just divide it into 2 portions, smoothen them and we will start rolling it. You can take your pizza tray size as a reference. We want it slightly smaller than your pizza tray. Just take some good amount of dry flour or maida and start rolling it. At the end, it should be slightly smaller than your pizza tray. Mine is ready. Now I will cook it in a tawa for about 1 minute. The reason to cook it is to prevent puffing up of our pizza. So I will just cook it in high heat in a tawa for about 1 minute in one side only. In the other side, we will only cook it for about a few seconds, like 10 seconds only. This is ready. You can notice how I have cooked it only little bit from one side. In the other side it is very raw. So this is how we wanted it to be. Now I will take the bigger portion and start smoothing it up. Now to roll the pizza you can use some makai ka atta or cornmeal and a little bit of maida. If you don't have makai ka atta, don't worry, you can use a little bit of suji or just use maida only. I will flatten the dough portion first and then sprinkle some more cornmeal or makai ka atta in the bottom and then start rolling the pizza. Roll it slightly smaller than your pizza tray. After that you can just start spreading it using hands. This way we will get it just the way we get it in the restaurants. Also it will be slightly thicker in the corners and thinner in the center. Mine looks ready and the size is appropriate as well. Now try placing the cooked pizza base on top of it. It should fit perfectly like this. If it doesn't fit, just roll your raw pizza dough a little more. This is fitting perfectly. Now I will keep this aside and start spreading the cheese spread. You can be as generous as you want to be. You are cooking at home, so you have all the control. After spreading the cheese, we will place the cooked pizza base on top, and don't just press it right now. We will apply some water in the corners. If we don't apply water, the cheese can come out and spill in your oven, so that is not very good. So we will just apply water in the corners and then stick it. The cheese burst element is ready. Now I will transfer this into the pizza screen. If you are using a pizza tray or a tawa, transfer it into the tawa or the pizza tray. Now using a fork or a kata, I will make some holes into this. This step is very crucial, don't miss it. Next on top, I will spread some pizza sauce. If you want me to make pizza sauce, let me know. I will do that soon as well. The pizza sauce is done. Now I will sprinkle a little bit of green chili. That's it, nothing more. I will now pour about 1 tablespoon of oil on top of the cheese, and I will also apply some oil in the crust. Adding oil is totally optional, but it really helps. You can also use olive oil if you want to. The pizza is ready. I am placing it inside the oven and cooking it at the highest temperature possible. So the oven is already preheated. Make sure the oven is hot at the highest temperature. Place the pizza inside it, cover it and cook it for the shortest amount of time. Basically the funda is high temperature, low time. That is to prevent moisture loss, and that is how the restaurants do. So I am cooking it at 250 degrees centigrade for about 7 to 8 minutes. Your oven will be totally different, and the time will totally depend upon your oven. After about 5 minutes, I will also rotate the pizza inside the oven to cook it evenly. The pizza looks ready and the oven is off as well. Now before taking it out, we will let it rest for about 2 to 3 minutes. Remember guys, it is a cheese burst pizza and not a regular pizza, so it will be very hot inside and the cheese will be very melty inside, very liquidy inside. So let it rest for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that you can take it out. Now this is the test of life and patience. You have to wait for about 10 minutes before cutting it and serving it. I know it looks very tempting, but wait for about 10 minutes. After that you can cut it and serve. By the way, notice the texture. Doesn't it look perfect? After about 10 minutes, you can sprinkle your favorite herbs and then cut it and serve it. The reason to wait was because there was a lot of cheese inside it. It can flow out completely and it will be very hot as well, so it's safe to wait for about 10 minutes. Our cheese burst pizza is absolutely ready, and doesn't that look delicious? Let me show you a few slices as well. Oh wow, perfect, isn't it? Just the way we get it at the restaurants.